Hi everyone, and welcome to another video on art therapy. My name is Lauren Fallett and I work for Holistic Health Counseling Center. For today's video post, we're going to be talking about oracle cards and how we can use them in a therapeutic way. So oftentimes we are looking for different tools and ways to build our sense of self-awareness and insight into who we are, what we want, what we need, and what we're feeling at any given moment. In our life, we go through different experiences, and from those experiences, we generate different meanings and different understandings of what we're going through. So often people will turn to oracle cards to gain greater insight and understanding into these different experiences. So I'm going to show you different oracle cards that I have and have used personally, but it's really just to show you that these cards can be used in a therapeutic way, not necessarily to predict the future or to focus on one specific spirit guide or God, but really to focus in on ourselves and what we're needing, what we're feeling in the moment. Some of you may be familiar with oracle cards and what they are, and for some of you this might be something new, especially in connection with therapy and art therapy. So I want to just sort of give a basic understanding and my perspective on what oracle cards are and how they can be beneficial in a therapeutic setting. So to me, oracle cards provide content, imagery, symbols, and words that can connect to us on a deeper level and bring in parts of us that maybe we haven't explored yet, or maybe parts that are on our mind, experiences that we've had, questions we might have on our minds, or different thoughts that we haven't necessarily expressed, but these cards inspire. So it's very much a connection to the self and self-exploration. And I wanted to say that I like to think that no matter what your spiritual beliefs are and religious beliefs, that using oracle cards aren't necessarily playing with God or meant to predict the future in any way, but really it's about generating self-awareness and really being attuned to our values and therefore connected to our beliefs and life goals. So it's not necessarily practicing a certain belief system, but actually connecting us closer to what our personal beliefs are. The cards that we draw really are meant to inspire our own inner conversation and dialogue about what is important to me right now, what am I needing, and what am I feeling, right? And that is very specific to the person. So these cards are not telling you what to believe, but really to think about what your beliefs are. I wanted to show you, before going into the art activity in this video post, the different oracle card decks that I have. It's not necessarily saying that these are the only ones you should work with, and it's not going to be the only set of decks that I ever work with, but these are ones that I find myself going back to for many different reasons, perhaps the images, perhaps the themes and content that they review, but I'll show you here. So this is one of the first decks that I ever bought. It's called The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, and this is a 52 card deck, and I'll just open it up so you can see the images. So this deck, it does come with a guidebook, so that means that when you're working with these cards, you can actually look in here and it will provide you with different ways to interact with the cards, so maybe questions you might want to ask. And here you can do one card reading where you pull a card out and work with that card and ask, what do I need to know now? What do I need to learn? Really asking these open-ended questions, and it leaves you the ability to respond, right? When you draw the card, you can respond with it. And for some of us, if we're not trying to look for something magical, you can always spread the deck out and sort of respond to what you see, right? If there's a certain card that you're drawn towards, you could work with that card. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So that is what the guidebook is for. It really helps you lean in and understand what each card's message is. But also there's room for your own interpretation and analysis, how it connects to your lived experience. So I'll just show here some of the cards that this deck contains. Soulmates, flexibility, and you can see the images are quite beautiful and fantastical in a way, whimsical, that's what I'm drawn to myself. This one says, not for you, to the sea. Okay, so you can see there's only a few words, a lot of different images to inspire your own responses and reactions. So that's the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. Another one that I have by Colette Baron Reid is the Enchanted Map. And I'm also going to be using this deck in another video blog specifically to create a life map. So I'll be showing that to you a little bit later. Another one that I'd like to focus on in another video are the archetype cards. This is by Carolyn Myss, probably one of my favorite decks just for self-exploration and understanding different parts of ourselves that come out. So this is a great deck to have, highly recommend it. And for today's video, I'd like to use the Soul Tree card deck. And this is created by Allison Williams Yee. And it's a deck that contains just 1 or 2 words per card with images of different trees. So this one says believe. This one says change. So in my own artwork, I do work with a lot of tree imagery, and the symbol itself connects to my own personal journey and self-understanding. It's very much connected to the symbol of the self. So that is why I'm choosing this deck. And you can explore the different varieties that are out there and connect to your own deck as well. Connect to the symbols that speak to you. So what I'd like to show you today in this video post is my process and how I use Oracle card decks for my own self-exploration and meaning making. And it's also something that I like to use with clients in an art therapy session. I genuinely have, believe that this is something that can help bring up emotions, bring up thoughts and feelings pretty quickly. And that's not to say that it can't happen in traditional talk therapy, but often when we're confronted with an image or something that really speaks to a part of us that we've been quieting or maybe has been in the forefront of our mind, it really challenges us to talk about it or express something about it. It's really very much an invitation to explore further. So what I'm going to do is actually fan out my deck, and I'm going to do an intentional draw, meaning that I am going to look myself and create art from what I'm drawn to in the deck. So I could do a blind choice and pick, the top card off the deck if I wanted to, but I want to do something that maybe has a little bit more control and safety in, doing this video. And also to show you that it doesn't have to be a vulnerable state. You can have some control when you do this. So I'm going to go with, let's see, transformation. So I'll show you the card that I have here. And this is the image on the deck. So it looks like it has 2 colors here. They're complementary. The yellow and the purple intertwined together. And at the top, I'm noticing that there's some budding, right? So that looks like there's some new life. And I'm just noticing the background. It's got a light color, sky, and some grass. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to create an image based on the card that I've chosen. I'll be working with Canson XL mixed media paper, 9x12. You can work as large or as small as you like. Because I'm working with a tree, I am going to be working vertically, so portrait with my paper, but you can turn it however you want. I'm also going to be using acrylic paint. So I already started doing some mixing, and I have my acrylic paint brushes all in different sizes, a paper towel, and some water. Okay, so take your time in deciding what materials you'd like to work with. For me, the paint has a little bit more fluidity, flow, less controlled, which is what I want to bring out in this activity for today. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just so you can see my process, I put out a variety of different colors and I incorporate the rainbow from yellow, orange, red, green, blue, purple. I have majority of my primary colors, so I'm going to get started and really focus in on this word transformation. Really think about what that means in this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and just start mixing my colors and show you the process that I have. So to start out, I'd like to make a few different colors of brown. And I think that is how I'm going to approach this while painting, is sort of create these different colors and have it transform from there. So to make my darker brown, I took an orangey clay color and added some green to it. And I'm going to go ahead, and I want this to be thick on the page. And as I'm working on this, just to give you a bit of insight and an entry into my brain, so I'm really thinking about, what does transformation mean? How do I want to visually work with that idea? And part of me is resisting wanting to, have a conscious or intentional process. Part of me just wants to paint and see what comes out and then respond from there. So I have this dual experience going on in this moment of wanting to have an idea of what I'm doing and also wanting to let the process run its course. So right now I'm deciding that this pink color, this sort of peachy pink color, is something I want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that. I've noticed lately that I've wanted peachy pink in my life, so we are going to add that in here. So as you can see, I sort of have this curve going on here. So I'm going to bring it back to a brown. Okay. And I tend to enjoy using the same brush and kind of picking up where I left off with the other color, sort of integrating colors that way, but you may want to be cleaning off your brush as you go. And I'm noticing that I'm using the brush as a pencil, so I'm very much wanting to control what is coming out, and it seems like I want to overlap this. So there's going to be some exposure and overlap with my tree. So this is sort of a cool progression. I'm deciding that I want this tree to have branches that arch up. So I'm going to go ahead and play into that and add more. And again, this isn't a painting lesson. I'm not trying to show you how you should paint your tree, but I'm hoping to give you a glimpse of what my process looks like. So this is a genuine process for me and how I work. Okay, so I'm going to go back and sort of repeat those colors. I want to bring them a little further up into the tree. I think there needs to be some sort of integration up here. I also want this to have its own branch. And so now I just thought about fire. So I'm going to bring over a yellow and sort of mix it over here, a mustard kind of yellow, mixed with a little bit of the red and the brown. And I sort of want the tree to have this moment of burning or fire, this element here. So now I'm thinking about the elements and what brings transformation. Trees transform in the seasons. Some trees lose their leaves, so they go through periods of loss and also periods of growth and restoration in the springtime, at least in New Jersey. So I'm going to go ahead and add this yellow here and then go back to this fuchsia pink color. Add a little bit of the brown. So almost as if the branches are transforming into the leaves. Okay, and I'm going to come in with that peachy color. And sort of wrap it around. I'm going to bring this peach color all the way down here, and I love this with the acrylic that it dries so quickly that you can overlap. And So I'm very much interested in creating this moment of overlap. Okay. And I'll add a little bit more here. And I feel like the transformation may not be in the final product of this, but actually in the process. Right now I'm deciding that these colors need to come out more in this moment. And so it feels as though the transformation is happening right now, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to pause here and just show you a little bit of what I've created thus far. So just looking at what is coming together, very much sort of a balance here, right? It's sort of twisting here and then twisting to the side, and there's a lot sort of being offset and balanced on that right side. So I'm going to pause the video here and come back. So I just wanted to show you, now that I'm upright and the computer's upright, a little bit about this tree and what I'm noticing in it, and maybe how I'll work with this image. So you saw my painting process, how the imagery comes together, and I really noticed how this pink, sort of softer, warmer tones wanted to sort of envelope and wrap around the base or the trunk of the tree, and also come out over here. So what I might do is sit and journal, think about the colors, think about the movement, think about the reaching, and how it connects to my card. So I was obviously inspired by the wrapping and curling in this tree here, and there also felt like an element of sort of fire coming out at the top. So kind of working with that imagery, and this is sort of just a snapshot in this moment of my emotional response to the card and the word. So I hope this process was helpful to you, and just seeing how you can work with oracle cards in your own self-exploration practice, and maybe in an art therapy session. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative and something that you can take into your own practice working with oracle cards. My name is Lauren Fallett. Again, I work for Holistic Health Counseling Center. You can take a look at our websites, hhccnj.com, and also our art therapy website, arttherapynj.com. Thanks, and I will see you in another episode. Take care.